Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. My name is Mohamed Bouabdallah, the Cultural Counselor of France and the Director of Villa Albertine. And it is my great pleasure to welcome you all tonight as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of Albertine, a great milestone in the history of our bookstore. And I'm so pleased to be joined by my friend and my predecessor, Antonin Baudry, who was behind, and we will talk about that, who was behind this beautiful creation of Albertine Bookstore. Thank you very much, Antonin, for being with us.
Thank you.
I would like to thank our partners for tonight's event, the New York Review of Books, and particularly Emily Greenhouse, Lauren Kane, Leanne Shapton, and Merve Emre, I'm sorry if I misspelled, who created this event with us, as well as the illustrators that will be participating in a few minutes in the battles. I also wish to thank our other creative partner, Benoit, a restaurant by Alain Ducasse, who will be serving food and drinks and this beautiful Albertine cocktail based on tonight's theme, the art of seduction in French literature. So I know you are all very much excited about tonight's topic, the art of seduction, and I hope that we'll have many love stories to tell after tonight's event. But if you allow me, I would like to take some time before we begin to look back and say a word about the creation of the bookstore. So we have indeed the great honor to have Antonin Baudry with us, who is the reason, in a way, why we are here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And 10 years have passed, and I guess it must be a bit moving to be here with us, because that's your legacy, something that has been real, enduring. The bookstore has, in a way, became a mascot for the cultural services of the French Embassy, to the point that we are no longer the cultural services of the French Embassy. We are Villa Albertine, and Albertine because of Albertine Bookstore. And I would like to start by asking you a first question, which is, how did this crazy, really crazy idea came to you to create a French bookstore in New York?
Well, hi everyone, and thank you, Mohamed, for hosting this party and hosting me tonight. It is moving. It is actually very moving to see that actual people come in this actual place and read actual books here, and that this place became really something in New York. And how did it come up? I arrived here as a cultural counselor in September 2010. And the first thing the last French bookshop had closed its doors 5 years earlier. And the first thing I noticed was that this mansion, this beautiful mansion, that was home to the cultural services since Claude Lévi-Strauss bought it as the first cultural counselor just after the war. He was appointed by Charles de Gaulle just after the war to create the cultural services here. He bought this mansion, and it was beautiful, and it was not open to the public. It was just an administration. So the first thing I thought was, well, it should be open to the public. And also, there should be French books in New York. So that's how I thought there should be a French bookshop and we should do it. So then it took a little while to convince everybody, because actually other plans in the French administration were to sell the building. So the reception was a little cold at the beginning. But then we had the support of many French important people, and mainly what struck me when I arrived here was how much people were reading books in New York. A lot of people imagine that everything became digital, but when you're here, you see how much books are important to people. So that's how it came up.
And you were very delicate to say that there were other plans about this building, but yes, indeed, the French government wanted to sell this building so that the French cultural counselor would go to Washington and not New York, which would have been a shame. And so when you had this idea, it was also a way to save the building, and you had to face many challenges because there were no more French bookstores in New York. There was this threat on the building here. And so was there a moment when you started this endeavor about creating the bookstore, to create Albertine Bookstore, that you said to yourself, yes, this is going to work, and we are on the good path, the good track?
Well, never actually, until it opened and we had the first festival. But I always thought it was like it was never going to happen. There was so many obstacles. Like the building was full of asbestos, so we couldn't open it to the public. We had to raise a lot of money to make it possible. So it was always a new mountain. But we had a great team. We had Sandrine, we had Anaïs, we had Emily. We had a lot of people who were really dedicated to the project, and we were really trying. But I only believed in it when it opens its doors, and I saw the people arriving at the first festival, and I saw their reaction. I saw their faces when they saw the boot shop, and then I thought, okay, it's gonna work. It's gonna be something.
And now we have this outcome, and we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the bookstore. It's a huge success. It has become a kind of iconic site in New York. The New Yorker, the Vogue magazine, many media and people are aware of this, the presence of the Albertine Bookstore here in New York, and it's part of the presence, the French presence in New York. It's part of the New York community. It's part of the American community, because we have also partnerships all over the US thanks to Albertine Bookstore. So maybe a last question. During this journey that you went through with the team, do you have one anecdote that you would like to share with us? Something special that nobody knows about what you went through, so that we are here tonight? So Sandrine has some, but can you share? Not state secret, but
yeah, no. I mean, there's a lot of anecdotes, but many of them I cannot. It's impossible to share. No, there's one thing that was interesting. It was really about the difference of cultures between the French and the American system. Is that when we had to raise money, so Paris wanted us to raise money for that, but then they was very suspicious of this system of raising money, because it's not the way it works in France. So, and you know, when you want to do a project like this, you have to kiss the rings of many people. So there were many rings to kiss. So you kiss like 25 rings, and there's always a 26th guy that you forgot, and the 26th guy, whose name I forgot, but he was really not into this fundraising system, and he was like creating a lot of questions, very suspicious questions about, but these funders, that maybe they sell drugs, they sell weapons, and you don't know about that. And I was like, I really don't think so, but you can double check it. And he was like, but they're gonna ask a lot of things against the money they're putting in, and it's gonna be a nightmare. So I was shaking each time I was seeing the donors, especially the main donor, the Gould Foundation, who are like absolutely key to this, John Young and Mary Young. And the guy told me, like, if they asked you to put their name on the reading room, we'll have to say no. We'll create a committee, and this committee will examine, and it will last so long to run this committee that they will die before they have their name there. So I was there, and I met these guys again, and I was shaking, because I was like, I hope they're not gonna ask me something weird, like, and especially not the name thing. And actually, John Young asked me. He asked me, yeah, I have only one request, and it's about the name of the reading room. I was like, my God. And he asked me to name it the Marcel Proust reading room. So I thought that was beautiful, and that was the end of it. And now the bookshop is there.
Thank you. Well, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Antonin. And as you said, the creation of a bookstore is a team effort. And I would like to mention everyone who contributed to this beautiful gift that we have with us. The team from the French Embassy at that time, your deputy, Christophe Musitelli, Anaïs Mazur, Émilie Katz, Judith Walker, and Laurence Marie, who is with us tonight. The former directors of the bookshop, François-Xavier Schmitt and Nathalie Lacroix. the people that literally designed and built the bookstore, Jacques Garcia, Philippe Courtois, and Sylvain Frey. And of course, the Albertine's bookshop team over the years, Myriam Briden, who is still a member of the team, Tom Roberge, Adam Hawker, Angelica So, and Miriam Gordis, who has recently joined us. And last but not least, and it's a very special moment for us, my warmest thanks to Sandrine Buteau. You have been part of this journey in many different incarnations, and you have been director of the library since 2017. You became the library, and so thank you so much for everything you have done for the bookstore. We cannot be thankful enough for what you have done and for make it survive and thrive and become this landmark in the cultural landscape in New York. So it's a birthday, it's a celebration of an anniversary. So what's an anniversary without a cake? So I'd like us to start the evening before giving the floor to our friends of the New York Review of Books by blowing out the candies. So please give space to the cake. And during that, I will invite the team of the book department of the bookstore, so Sandrine, Myriam, Vincent, Laure, Valentine, Clara, and my deputy Judith to join me on stage so that we can blow the candles.
It's amazing.
Albertine is yours.
Fantastique.
Merci.
Merci les amis.
Yeah, we should take the cake away.
Salut toi.
Est-ce qu'on peut faire alors?
Mais oui. Ça fait 10 ans que je demande à tout le monde, elle est où Anaïs? Donc là elle ne m'écrit jamais. Elle est morte, elle est vivante et tout. Et là ce matin, je sors, il y avait un espèce de conundrum et boum.
Just one. Oh, excusez-moi.
Année. Ah ouais, vraiment comme ça. Ouais.
On va en faire un petit.
Need to take this?
Yes, thank you. It's okay.
On est sur scène. Ouais.
Bonsoir.
And you may need this.
Okay.
Thank you. Ooh.
Okay. Joyeux anniversaire, Albertine. Thanks for having us here from the New York Review of Books. we've organized a little bit of visual entertainment. Merve Emre and Emily Greenhouse unfortunately can't be here tonight, but Merve designed a little game that's a little bit like French literary Pictionary.
Just
Go
quickly,
on. Yeah.
before we get started, thank you to Albertine for having us, and to all of our contributing illustrators. The illustrators you'll be watching tonight have all contributed to our pages in the past years under the art direction of Leanne Shapton, standing next to me. I'll say briefly that the founding editor of the New York Review of Books became an editor not in New York, but in Paris. He had my job, which is managing editor of the Paris Review. He had just moved there on the GI Bill and was part of a group of expats. And I think on his first day of work was welcomed aboard by George Plimpton by being given a stack of unpaid bills. And he said, on that day, I became an editor. 10 years later, he would found the New York Review of Books here in New York. And 60 years later, we are still going strong, not only being able to pay the bills, but publishing 20 issues a year, and have never really forgotten that original root planted in Paris. And we cover history, politics, contemporary French fiction. The Francophone world is very much alive in our pages. So when Albertine asked to collaborate on an event, we jumped at the chance to celebrate their birthday with them. And I will now pass it over to you for this delightful game in which I hope you will all be lively participants as well as audience members.
Thank you, Lauren. All right, so we're going to bring these easels up onto stage so you guys can have a little bit more of a view of them. And two illustrators whom I will introduce will be given a passage from a book. They will read this to themselves silently, and then on my go, they will start to draw and illustrate the passage from the book. You as an audience have to guess what book. We will be accompanied by some drumming, and essentially this will go on for, you have about 10 minutes to guess, but please just either raise your hand or call out the name of the book. Do we have the yes. All right, so our first, you will be able to see two illustrators each drawing it, so you'll have two different interpretations of the text. And good luck. If you don't guess it, I will read out the quote, so we'll all be illuminated by the end. Now, the first team will be Joanna Avilez and Nicholas Blechman. Okay. I think you should be on the ground. And then, yeah. Okay. Do you have a pen? Do you have a pen? No. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think so, right? Oh, yeah. Are you ready? Okay, 1 more minute, 60 seconds. You can keep going back to it. Are you ready? À vos marques. Go. Anybody? Anybody? Yes. French books.
And the theme is the art of seduction.
Oh. Any guesses? Oh. No. No. A guess? No. 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 Oui. Barbe bleue. Okay. Someone over here, Barbe Blue. Bluebeard. Charles Perrault. Very good. Yes. That was hard. That was so hard. That was fantastic. We got a correct read. I will now, wait, can I have your? Okay, I will now read out what they had to work with, which wasn't much. Okay, from Bluebeard. Shh. From Bluebeard, Charles Perrault. At the end of a month, Bluebeard told his wife that he was obliged to make a trip to the provinces for at least 6 weeks for some important business. That he asked her to have a good time during his absence, that she should send for her good friends, that she should take them to the country if she wished, that she should have a good time everywhere. Here, he said to her, are the keys to 2 large storage rooms. This is the gold and silver plate, which is not used every day. Here is the one of my safes. Where is my gold and my silver? That of my chests. Where are my jewels? And here is the master key of all the apartments. As for this little key, it is the key of the cabinet at the end of the great gallery of the lower apartment. Open everything, go everywhere, but as for this little cabinet, I forbid you to enter it, and I forbid it to you in such a way that, if you happen to open it, there is nothing that you should not expect from my anger. Okay. Next team coming up for the next book. Tom Bachtell and Jason Fulford. Okay, the illustrators are reading. Yeah, play a little. Thank you for doing this. And so it seems to be working. Are you ready? Okay, go. Any guesses? Oh, okay, one guess? Pardon? No, pardon me? No, no. Pardon? No. Anybody? Madame Bovary, someone got it. Woo! Parfait. Madame Bovary. Okay, now this was from the Lydia Davis. The Lydia Davis translation, important. Lydia Davis translation of Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. Thank you, Tom and Jason, for those illustrations. Here's the quote that they had to work with. "Where does Monsieur wish to go?" asked the coachman. "Wherever you like," said Léon, thrusting Emma into the carriage, and the heavy vehicle started off. It went down the Rue Grand-Pont, crossed the Place des Arts, the Quai Napoleon, and the Pont Neuf, and stopped short in front of the statue of Pierre Corneille. Forgive my pronunciation. I know, Canadian. "Keep going," said a voice issuing from the interior. The carriage set off again, and gathering speed on the downward slope from the Carrefour Lafayette, came up to the railway station at a fast gallop. "No, straight on," cried the same voice. The cab went out through the gates, and soon, having reached the promenade, trotted quietly between the lines of tall elms. The coachman wiped his forehead, put his leather hat between his legs, and urged the carriage on beyond the side avenues to the water's edge by the grass. "Shh!" It went along the river, on the towpath, with its surface of dry pebbles, and for a long time toward Oiselle, beyond the islands. But all of a sudden, it dashed in one leap across Quatremar, Sotteville, the Grande Chaussée, and the Rue d'Elbeuf, and made its third stop in front of the Jardin des Plantes. "Keep going," shouted the voice more furiously. And immediately, starting off again, it went past Saint-Sever, along the Quai des Corandiers, along the Quai aux Meules, once again over the bridge, by the Place du Champ de Mars, behind the gardens of the poorhouse, where old men in black jackets walk in the sun along a terrace all green with ivy. It went back up the Boulevard Bouvray, along the Boulevard Cauchois, then down the entire length of Mont Ribaudoux as far as the Delville Hill. It turned back, and then, without any fixed plan or direction, at random, it wandered. It was seen at Saint-Paul, at Lescure, au Montgarant, at the Rougemar, and the Place de Gaillard-Bois. In the Rue Maladière, the Rue de Nader, in front of Saint-Romain, Saint-Vivien, Saint-Maclou, Saint-Nicasse, in front of the Customs House, at the Basse Vitour, at Trois-Pipes, at the Cimetière Monumental. From his seat, the coachman now and again glanced at a tavern with a despairing eye. He could not understand what mania for locomotion was compelling these individuals to refuse to stop. He would sometimes try, and he would immediately hear exclamations of rage behind him. Then he would lash his two sweating nags all the harder, but with no regard for bumps, catching a wheel on one side or the other, indifferent, demoralized, and nearly weeping from thirst, weariness, and gloom. Okay, next two illustrators. We've got Tamara Shopsin and Paul Sahre. Are you ready? Not even close? This is a beloved writer at Albertine, is the one clue I will give the audience. Are we ready to start? Okay, and on your mark, get set, go. Was it hard? We have an answer. Which book? No. Wait, no. Wait, which book? No, different Proust. Different Proust. We have the correct author, but not the correct book. Wait. No, but the right author. It's Proust. Yes.
Second volume?
No, it's yeah. I mean, I don't. The Captive. We have it.
I've read the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, those are beautiful. Look at these. They're almost. Yeah. Oh. The Captive. Yeah, Captive. Proust. Those are fantastic. I like the bodies. Okay. All right, we've got 3 more books. Oh, right. Lauren's going to read the excerpt.
I think I've got one. Okay. We are reading from the translation by C.K. Scott Moncrief and Terence Kilmartin. And I feel like we're all about to have an intimate moment here. On entering the room, I would remain standing in the doorway, not venturing to make a sound, and hearing none but that of her breath rising to expire upon her lips at regular intervals, like the reflux of the sea, but drowsier and softer. And at the moment when my ear absorbed that divine sound, I felt that there was condensed in it the whole person, the whole life of the charming captive outstretched there before my eyes. Carriages went rattling past in the street, but her brow remained as smooth and untroubled, her breath as light, reduced to the simple expulsion of the necessary quantity of air. Then, seeing that her sleep would not be disturbed, I would advance cautiously, sit down on the chair that stood by the bedside, then on the bed itself. I would run my eyes over her, stretched out below me. From time to time, a slight, unaccountable tremor ran through her, as the leaves of a tree are shaken for a few moments by a sudden breath of wind. She would touch her hair, and then, not having arranged it to her liking, would raise her hand to it again with motions so consecutive, so deliberate, that I was convinced that she was about to wake. Not at all. She grew calm again in the sleep from which she had not emerged. Thereafter she lay motionless. She had laid her hand on her breast, the limpness of her arms, so artlessly childlike that I was obliged, as I gazed at her, to suppress the smile that is provoked in us by the solemnity, the innocence, and the grace of little children. I, who was acquainted with many Albertines in one person, seemed now to see many more again reposing by my side. Her eyebrows, arched as I had never noticed them, encircled the globes of her eyelids like a halcyon's downy nest. Races, atavisms, vices reposed upon her face. Whenever she moved her head, she created a different woman, often one whose existence I had never suspected. It seemed to possess not one, but countless girls. Her breathing, as it became gradually deeper, made her breast rise and fall in a regular rhythm, and above it her folded hands and her pearls, displaced in a different way by the same movement, like boats and mooring chains set sawing by the movement of the tide. Then, feeling that the tide of her sleep was full, that I should not run aground on reefs of consciousness covered now by the high water of profound slumber, I would climb deliberately and noiselessly onto the bed, lie down by her side, clasp her waist in one arm, and place my lips upon her cheek and my free hand on her heart, and then on every part of her body in turn, so that it too was raised, like the pearls, by her breathing. I myself was gently rocked by its regular motion. I had embarked upon the tide of Albertine's sleep. There's one more paragraph. We're almost done. I feel like you're distracted right now. You're somewhere else. Sometimes it afforded me a pleasure that was less pure. For this I had no need to make any movement, but allowed my leg to dangle against hers, like an oar which one trails in the water, imparting to it now and again a gentle oscillation, like the intermittent wing beat of a bird asleep in the air. The sound of her breathing, which had grown louder, might have given the illusion of the panting of sexual pleasure, and when mine was its climax, I could kiss her without having interrupted her sleep. I felt at such moments that I had possessed her more completely, like an unconscious and unresisting object of dumb nature. I was not troubled by the words that she murmured from time to time in her sleep. Their meaning was closed to me, and besides, whoever the unknown person to whom they referred, it was upon my hand, upon my cheek, that her hand, stirred by an occasional faint tremor, tightened for an instant. I savored her sleep with a disinterested, soothing love, just as I would remain for hours listening to the unfurling of the waves.
Okay. We have a few more. The audience is fantastic. You're guessing these so quickly. Okay, we'll go back to our first two illustrators, Joanna and Nicholas. Yep.
I didn't know we were coming back.
Okay. Yeah, you get, whoa. Okay. This one's a little shorter. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you ready? On your mark, get set, go.
You can also just like crap.
Anybody? guesses? What? No? Any guesses? Pardon? Yes, different writer. No? No? Anybody? She's... Any guesses? No? No? But she's alive. She's a living writer, a woman. What did you say? Oui. Now, quel livre? Which book? Oh. Oui, but which book? No. No. What is it in French? No, it's not les années. No. I'm pretty sure, unless it's a different title in English. Okay, I need your help because she's telling me the French title might be different than the English title. No, it's pas sur ça. A Simple Passion. It's pas sur ça. Okay, anybody? Yes. No, it's Annie Ernaux, but which book? Yes. Yes, you got it! Simple Passion, Annie Ernaux. Teamwork over here. Les années. But is it the Simple Passion, a different title?
So what do we win?
Nothing. Okay. Do you want... What's that? Admiration. Oh, gosh, yeah. This is the best. I honestly didn't think anybody would guess these. I thought they were so hard. But you guys are amazing. So good. Yes. And, dear illustrators, that was a very tough one because I will read you the passage. It was A Simple Passion, Annie Ernaux. This is what they had to work with. As on all the other nights when he has been here, as on all the other nights when he has been here, I cannot sleep. I'm still inside his skin. His male gestures. Today, again, I'll be caught between fusion and the return to self. And these are always separate moments that emerge from the whole. That is the evening. His words in the kitchen. It will be hard. Then his eyes as he sits in the armchair before he leaves. The time before, in the bedrooms, his gentleness, the erotic words he spoke with his Russian accent, his murmuring, "You are beautiful." Write this. I realized that I had lost a contact lens. I found it on his penis. I thought of Zola. I thought of Zola, who lost his monocle between the breasts of women. And now, my contact lens, on my lover's sex. I compare the way things are now with the night in Leningrad, how he's changed, how awkward he was then. I think the word for it now is passion. Okay, two more books you have to think about. This is Tom and Jason. Here we go again. Okay. Hello. Okay. Good. Oh my God, you do. You're so good. Yeah. Should I?
One more. It's not a problem for us. Oh, in terms of extras, you know them better than I do.
Oh, okay. Let me do a little food.
Are you ready? This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Are you ready, Tom? Okay, on your mark, get set, go. You read this one.
Le lion et le renard.
No, I don't think so. Wait.
C'est une fable de La Fontaine.
Yeah. Did you get? Okay, we got it. We got an answer. Mohammed, he guessed it. Wow. Can I borrow that?
Le lion et le renard.
Yeah. Okay, that was probably a record. Thank you to our artists who clearly made it work. Lauren is going to read this one. That was the fastest, I think. No, that was good.
Right. We've got
You're the last.
Jean La Fontaine, The Lion in Love. And this is a translation from public domain, but by Walter Thornbury. In times when animals could speak, the lion came intent to seek mankind's alliance, wherefore not? Since beasts had then by nature got courage, intelligence, and skill, a bearing too by no means ill. No matter what happened, if you will, a lion of a noble race saw in a vale a pretty face, a shepherdess's, understand, and instantly he claimed her hand. The father, prudent and pacific, preferred a suitor less terrific. To give his daughter seemed too bad, yet how refuse so wild a lad? If he refused, perhaps there'd be a marriage still clandestinely. The maiden liked her dashing wooer, her boisterous, reckless, blustering suer, and played with the creature's mane, combed it and smoothed it o'er again. The prudent father, half afraid to spurn the lover of the maid, said, "But my daughter's delicate. Your claws may hurt your little mate, and when you fondle and caress, lion, you'll tear her dress. Permit me, sir, to clip each paw. It shall be done without a flaw." Love a couple.
Okay. Oh wait. Okay, and the final book and our final two illustrators, Tamara Shopsin and Paul Sahre. Are you ready? Another long one. Sorry. Oh my God. Okay, let's try to get this in less than 2 minutes. It's not as tough as the last one. the artists at work. Thinking. Ready? No? Okay. A little bit more time. No, take your time. Take your time. Okay. À vos marques. Get set. Go. Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Yes?
Jérôme Ferrari?
Nope. Any guesses? Anybody? Any guesses? Any guesses? It's a woman. I mean, they're. Anybody? What? It's the I dead. I think. Is she dead? So dead? No, I think dead. Dead. L'histoire de no. Anybody? A dead female author. Pardon? No, female.
Simone de Beauvoir?
No. Nope. Well, the title of this P. Oh.
Marguerite Duras?
Pardon?
Marguerite Duras?
No. What? I know. Okay, let's see. She's dead. Yeah. Oh.
Anne Berès?
No, no. Okay, the initials, the writer's initials are P.R. 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 Who is the translator? Oh, wait, I don't have the... Anybody? PR. No, she's dead. Yeah. Wait. What should I say? Okay. The translator is Sabine Destré. Is that a good? Four words in the title. Oh. Nope. Nope. Yeah, French author.
Yeah, do you want to start reading the text without
Okay, I'm going to read the text without the title. Okay, you guys are doing amazing. Okay, I'm going to read now. I'm going to read it. Okay. During the next few days, O took some 50 photographs of Jacqueline. Do you know it? Oui! L'histoire de O, the story of O. Drop the pen. Okay. Okay, the clear winner over here. It was the story of O. Pauline Réage. Okay, everybody, thank you. That was the last book. I will read just a little bit from the story of O. Thank you to our illustrators. Okay, I'm just going to read a little bit from this. During the next few days, it's almost over. During the next few days, O took some 50 photographs of Jacqueline. They were like nothing she had ever taken before. Never, perhaps, had she had such a model. Anyway, never before had she been able to extract such meaning and emotion from a face or body. Look at these. They're getting them. And yet, all she was aiming for was to make the silks, the furs, and the laces more beautiful by that sudden beauty of an elfin creature, surprised by her reflection in the mirror, which Jacqueline became in the simplest blouse. I'll keep going? Should I keep going a little?
Yeah.
As she did in the most elegant mink. That's a mink, right, Paul? Yeah, look at that elegant mink. She had short, thick, blonde hair, only slightly curly, and at the least excuse, she would cock her head slightly toward her left shoulder and nestle her cheek against the upturned collar of her fur, if she were wearing fur. O caught her once in this position, tender and smiling, her hair gently blown as though by a soft wind, and her smooth, hard cheekbone snuggled against the gray mink, soft and gray as the freshly fallen ashes of a wood fire. Her lips were slightly parted, and her eyes half closed. Beneath the gleaming liquid gloss of the photograph, she looked like some blissful girl who had drowned. She was pale, so pale. O had the picture printed with as little contrast as possible. I think I'll stop there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Leanne.
illustrators.
Thank you to the New York Review of Books. Thank you to you, Leanne.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
to
us.
the illustrators.
And our
Thank
drummer,
you.
our drummer.
And our drummer, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Leanne, as well. Oh, sorry, Lauren. Too many else.
Lauren.
Everyone, our creative partner also tonight is Benoit, a restaurant by Alain Ducasse in New York. And they created 4 canapes, sweet canapes, based on 4 of tonight's authors. And the idea is like a play on, sensual experience of food. So please enjoy the cake as well. Thank you so much for joining us for this festive moment. Have fun. Thank you.